So give me just a second. Sound check. Here we are for our new stream that shall be a podcast, and thank you all for joining me. Today's cartoon shall be yet another Donald Trump cartoon, because you can't have enough of those. It's like we're doing little else these days. So I plan to draw kind of a, well, I guess it would be a Cagle classic. Here's an oldie that I drew back in 2008 when President Bush, well, I guess it was 2004. This is really an oldie. This was when President Bush won re-election in 2004. And so I gave him big muscles and his cowboy regalia. And I'm going to do the same for Trump today, anticipating that he does well in the voting tomorrow. So let's get going. And hey, thank you so much to Lio7 who just followed me. I really do appreciate the follows, and so please follow and please chat, and we will get going. This will be very muscular Donald Trump, and that's really all it will be. There will be no words, no speech balloons, no caption, just a very muscular Donald Trump. Hey, off we go. Comments, please. Ask questions. Say hello. And, all right. So, I need to figure out what the hell I'm doing, because all I have is what I suggested so far. I'll move that. And I should be here probably 4 hours or so. I'll be here all afternoon till dinner time. So sit back and relax and join me for a while. Have something to say and follow. Oh, I'm going to wear my old man glasses. Sorry about that. So, what should I do with Trump? I'm thinking that I'll do a little thumbnail, because I did not do a thumbnail for this one. His head likes to come off of his body, kind of like that. So if I'm doing him as a muscle man, kind of thinking he's going to be in something like this position. I'm looking at the muscle man positions, which I haven't entirely figured out. So he needs a good manly bulge. Yeah, this arm needs to go up. I often don't do thumbnails like this. I usually just do something on a little post-it note. But today I'll do a thumbnail. I think I want to get kind of the same position that I figured that I wanted before for George W. Bush in 2004. I think that's looking right. I think I'm going to make his body smaller. So I figured this out while I'm talking. So big pectorals. Pectorals are man boobs. Okay. Does that look right? Something like that. I should bring Donald Trump up on my Google Images window. So let's see. Here you can see what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at Donald Trump scrap and alternatively bodybuilder scrap, and alternatively this drawing that I did of President Bush in 2004, which was back when I was working for Slate. The good old days working for Slate. Okay, so let's draw this puppy and come chat and say hello. So I think it's interesting how his neck comes out kind of horizontally from his shoulders. So let's get a sense of where he's going to be. He's going to need two big pecs. Let's say that's the main part I'm starting with. And then here's his head. Brings back my figure drawing classes. I have to think about what I'm doing here. Alright, he's got an interesting head in the respect that you know, when you typically are learning how to draw a head as a student, you treat it like this and you say halfway down the head comes the eyes, halfway down from there is the nose, halfway down from there is the mouth, and then this line between pupils and bottom of nose is where you put the ears, and then you're good. And that addresses the problem that most students have with not making enough cranial mass in a head. Students like to put the eyes up closer to the top of the head. Hello, Slents. Nice to see you here. They like to put the eyes up close to the top of the head, and that's a mistake they often make. They don't put enough mass in the head, because the head is really pretty big. You know, you look at it from the side, and it's the same thing, half, half, half. And they want to make this part and this part smaller. Okay, so what's interesting about Trump is that his head is wrong in the same way that students draw heads wrong. So there's a Trump head, and he's got this hair that comes down this way. It tricks you into thinking that the forehead's bigger, and cartoonists like to draw things that are interesting big. Just the nature of cartoons. If it's interesting, you draw it big. And with Trump, that's a mistake, because his forehead's the most interesting part, covered by this little poof of hair, but his eyes are closer to the top of his head than the middle, much closer. He's really got very little top to bottom cranial mass, although he's got a lot of cranial mass on the side, particularly considering that he's got a neck that's quite close to the size of his whole head. So, Mr. Trump presents some interesting challenges to cartoonist prejudices about head size. He has an odd head. That was your Trump drawing lesson for the day. Okay, so let's do that and give him a big bicep, because he is a cartoon muscle man, you know. And then forearm and needs a fist. Oh, my paper camera is frozen. Thank you for letting me know that, Slants. Stuck back on my nice Trump drawing lesson. Alright, let's fix that. Excuse me, plugged and unplugged. Okay, now that needs some adjustment, doesn't it? Sorry about that. And thanks for letting me know, because I don't always look up and see what's going on. Okay, I think we're back. Good, good. Working now. Thank you, Slants. And, let me know if there's more problems. I'll leave that window open. All right. So what brings you here, Slants? Are you a cartoonist? Okay, he needs... I'll bring that arm out a little bit. Give him a little rounder, smaller, knucklier bicep. And he needs a big delt. And then whatever that muscle is behind your neck. I'll bring his head out a little bit. Let's make it a little smaller, because muscle men, I think, have unusually small heads. Tricep, forearm, and then this one needs to come in that way. Just get to his man boob, his pectoral. I shouldn't say man boob. Oh, you take art lessons for college, huh? This is good. Talking to Slants, who is the only person that is endeavored to chat with me. So far, I'd say I'm not liking this one so far. That arm isn't big enough. I'm going to make his little waist a little bit more wasp-like. Let's give him some nice abs. Rib cage over here. And I'm going to give him a Speedo with a big manly lump. One thing I think is most instructive about my watching me stream these is that I make lots of mistakes. I'm not afraid to erase. And it's more important to just throw things down on the paper and then correct things that you see are wrong than it is to futz around and try to get things right in the first place. So that's certainly what I do. I don't do a lot of getting things right in the first place. Alright, deltoid goes down that way, and it goes down around that little bicep. Big pecs. Let's bring his waist in back here. Here's his nice big lump. Is that big enough? Maybe it's not. Never quite know with Donald. And his head, I think, is going to have to move up a bit. Some collarbone happening. Oh, I forgot to turn on Cagle.com. Give me just a sec. We have a pop-up window on Cagle.com, which is where most people see that I'm drawing. And I need to remember to turn it on. Oh, your art director tells you to just draw and don't worry about getting it right. Yeah. People tend to be, well, many art students tend to be perfectionists, and they'll be reluctant to draw things because they're waiting to get it perfect. And then the other extreme is the artists the beginning artists who are not perfectionist enough and don't want to spend enough time on their drawing. And frankly, that is what I see more among most of the amateur cartoonists and the people who submit unsolicited drawings, unsolicited cartoons to Cagle.com. By and large, they are not spending enough time with their cartoons. Ah, Deweefa, nice to see you there. Good to know that you're coming from the Twitter tweet, because sometimes I forget to do that. You're getting to be a regular here, Deweefa. Okay, so we want to... One thing that I think is important for everybody to learn, doing the how-to aspect of this, is contrapposto, putting your weight on one leg rather than the other. Because whenever you draw somebody, they always look more right when they have their weight on one foot rather than the other. Haven't got that hand right. I have to think about it a little bit. Alright, we needs a little bit of gluteus maximus hanging out there. other leg back. Bring that down and that down. I think that's looking okay. Oh, that hand is sorry. That hand's okay. That hand is very rough. So I think I've got it off by about 40 degrees. So let's do that. See if that works. That's looking quite wrong, isn't it? Hand, thumb that way. My own hand model. That one needs to go up a bit. Thumb is obscured from this angle. Not sure I like that. Come back to it later. Alright, head goes this way. Let's bring his neck straight out. It's hard to find profile views of anybody in Google Images because they want to do all these same head-on shots, lots of smiles. Dewey for writes, so you could brag that you used part of your body for this drawing your hand. Well, I'm not sure it worked, because I'm not happy with that hand yet. But as you know from watching my other videos, it is typical for me to not get things right for a while. I could give him American flag chones there, huh? Okay, so I've got this hand, this leg going this way, and I have to keep in mind that he's got his weight on it. Leg can go back a little lower. know, it's interesting. Since I drew this bad hand here and made a note to come back to it later, it starts looking better to me. Okay, the Donald's head comes out this way. DeWeefer writes, if there were 50,000 people watching you draw instead of 7, would you get a little more nervous? I probably would. 7 is not a lot. But I appreciate you, 7. You know, I'm not liking this. Hello, Cartoon Man. Nice to see you here. I'm thinking that I might start over because I'm not happy with this. What do you think? Okay, well. Oh, did you notice that I have invisible pants? Invisible pants? Alright, let's see what I can do to make this better. Because I'm not happy with it. It didn't turn out as I would like. Well, I think the secret to I think probably what I had wrong here was I got his spine wrong. So I want to do a twist. Get his hips up more. Something like that. Yeah, that's looking better. This arm needed to go lower and wider. There, that's better. Then let's bring this one down like I had in that earlier drawing. Oh yeah, that's much better. Then I can bring this arm back and get a better angle on that hand that was giving me trouble because it was at an awkward angle. Much better. I think probably I just needed to think it through a little better since I haven't been drawing muscle men. I draw people in business suits, and that tends to be just about all I do. Hell of a lot of business suits. When I was a kid, I collected comics and I drew muscly people in spandex. bit of a butt bump. Cartoon Man writes, "What's the punchline on today's cartoon?" There is no punchline, no words, Cartoon Man. It is just a very muscular Trump. It is a wordless editorial cartoon, but I'm anticipating that Trump is going to do well in the primaries tomorrow. It's possible that he'll do so well that he'll knock everybody else out. And so Strongman Trump is the appropriate cartoon for tomorrow, I think. And he's the latest bent on all the press that's eager to discredit him is that he's an authoritarian strongman. And so the strong Trump works on a couple of levels. It works with the primaries tomorrow, Tuesday, and all the authoritarian strongman columns that are coming out right now. These muscle men I'm looking at are quite unnatural beasts. I'm kind of unusual among the cartoonists for wanting to do more wordless cartoons than the other guys. Wordless cartoons are very common among the international cartoonists. American editors who are used to the wordy American cartoonists often think of the wordless cartoons as illustrations, and that's okay. The way our system is set up, it's easy to search for things by keyword, which the editors often do to pair the cartoons with the columns. And with so many columns now on authoritarian strongman Trump, they use the term strongman. This should be appropriate for all of them. Trump on steroids. He is strongman Trump. Now I've got to put his head on this creature. Oh, this is so much better than it was before. I was making errors before. I gotta remember, this is just a silly cartoon strongman. Alright, let's get the tops of his pectorals right. He'll have his collarbones there. And the neck is going to come out from here, and let's put his head up there. I might even stretch him out a little bit more horizontal, because I do have a wider than tall hole to fill in the paper. A little more butt. Okay. Hey, if any of you 9 people that are following, that are watching, have not followed me, please do follow. I certainly need the follows. Okay, Trump's head. He's going to need hair there. Foxtail back here. I worked for many years as a toy inventor. I even worked with Mattel. And I still think of things in terms of what is the play pattern? You always have to defend your cartoons. What's your toy invention? What is the play pattern for this? How does it fit into the way you know that kids play? And with Donald Trump, I think that the obvious thing is you want to play with his hair. He's a hair play guy. And I think every time women look at him, they think, oh, I want to fix his hair. I just can't stand it. I just gotta fix his hair. And I know that's a sexist thing to say, but I feel the same way. I want to fix his hair. I think if it gets later in the election process and Trump needs to command the free media again, what he needs to do is have a contest and let somebody give him a haircut. I think that would be like the biggest media event ever. Free media haircut. The press would go wild. It would be a live event for the whole course of the haircut. They'd be interviewing the hairstylist for a month. And all talk of anything more substantive would be gone as they watch nothing but Trump haircut. Chin is too high. I think I'm making his head too big because you want a muscle man to have a small head. Yeah, his head is too big. I'm thinking cartoony, and I'm thinking get it bigger at the top than it is at the bottom because it's like you're standing with your camera up here and you know the feet get small. But not sure I can do that. Still too big. Let's bring him back that way. Anyway, that's my advice to the Trump team. Keep that haircut in your pocket and deploy it when the press gets bad. Nose is a bit straighter down that way, isn't it? Cartoon Man writes, I think Trump might have this cartoon recreated in full scale in gold to place in one of his hotel fountains. This is probably a cartoon that he'll like, huh? I don't think he sees many editorial cartoons that he would like. In fact, I can't think of any pro-Trump cartoonists. It seems, oh, he's looking like Popeye there. It seems like the nose has to come out a little bit, and that's coming too far back. Let's change his lips a little bit. He gets a kind of a pouty trouty mouth. Pouty trouty. I'll have to fiddle with this for quite a bit till I get it perfect, huh? Alright. Trump is huge, writes Dawipa. He is huge. That would be a funny title for this. I do title the cartoons, but, you know, when they read them in the newspaper, you don't see the title. It's just for the editors to see in their email box. I might title this Trump is huge. That's kind of funny. Okay. Give him an ear over here. Sometime I should do a video on how to draw ears. I'm going to give him a little bit more pouty trouty. Nose needs to come out that way. That's funnier. That mouth is funnier. Giant Hulk hands. He's got small hands, Cartoon Man. In fact, I was thinking of drawing him with really small hands all the time because that seemed to be something that he wanted to take issue with. Oh, that's a little better. Needs a little more face mass on that side. Okay, he's got this chin thing going on over there. I think he's kind of starting to look right. Let's get that arm right. It needs to curl back this way. And this arm needs to curl back that way. That goes that way.
let's see, the legs aren't quite right. Let's get a little perspective on his chones. Okay, I'm gonna redo the legs here. Cartoon Man writes he's quite sensitive about his hands. You'll lose the statue commission if he has teeny hands. The statue commission. Just the idea of the statue commission is funny. I wouldn't have looked at his hands and thought that small hands is something to caricature. It's not something I picked up on. Alright, let's give him a bigger thigh. That's going to help. You know, back in the day when I did my regular painting stuff, just a second, adjusting my chroma key to get rid of my sparkle. There we go. Anyway, in the old days when I was working on a painting, oh, this lets me give him a big hint of a lump without actually drawing the big lump. I would get up and walk across the room and look back at what I was doing and get a better perspective on it. And I don't do that when I sit here all the time doing a video, but I do look up at this every so often at the screen, and I get a different perspective on it because it's kind of far off, you know? Far off in perspective on the screen. So Deweefa writes, Putin might see this cartoon and get jealous. Ah! You know, we always draw Putin with no shirt on. And that's just become who he is. Kind of like Bill Clinton with his boxer shorts that have heart pattern on them. I've drawn a lot of Putin. Many Putins. Let's get this. Deweefa writes, who has the bigger ego, Trump or Putin? I don't know. I think all of these guys, that probably everybody in the Senate, certainly everybody running for president, has a colossal ego. It's not a natural thing that you'd want to do. Hey, Victoria7, nice to see you here. So, Slant, you think this is a hard one to draw? Am I taking too long on this one? I've been drawing on this almost an hour already. But this is the hard part, getting this part right. Once I with the finish line. That's just easy going. So I may be that his legs just need to be silly small. And I may just be worried too much about the legs. The legs don't make much difference to a muscle man. With a muscle man, you're looking at biceps and pectorals. I'm gonna move this arm out a little bit because he's got to have his weight supported on this foot. So it's nice to see you guys showing up as regulars. Victoria 7, Dawifa, Cartoon Man. You guys are getting to be my posse. I think the legs are bad. Trump skips leg day too. Alright, I'm going to rethink the legs. I think I'm happy with the top part. I want the legs to be small so that I'm emphasizing the upper body strength. Pull this leg out this way to make it bigger, and then drop it back. Make it a little smaller down there. And then this leg can be going this way. There's a little hint of it over there. Yeah, that's better. That way I've entirely hidden the issue of how big do I draw his manhood bulge, which is just probably what I should be doing and should have thought about that in the first place. Manhood bulge shall be obscured. I can sense the editors thanking me for that already. Yeah, that's much better with the legs. It's kind of a subtle change too. But made a difference. This leg is going to come down that way, and then this foot should be bigger that way. Oh, much better. So, is this looking right? I might even stretch this out a little bit more this way. He's going to need some background stuff going on. I'm thinking it's probably going to be about here. Deweyfa writes, that will make it safer to use Trump is huge in the title. And the editor, Cartoon Man, writes, the editors don't really want to see Trump Tower. Oh dear. You know, I've been seeing a lot of penis jokes and really pretty nasty cartoons coming out of the worldwide cartoonists about Donald Trump. Everyone is eager to break out the most severe metaphors because he draws out the anger in his opponents, which seem to include most of the cartoonists around the world. All right, I think that may be what I want to do with it. I think I'm ready to go to finish line. Let's do it. Here, see how much I was wrong on this one? Yeah, you look at it in contrast, you can see, well, that's just obviously wrong. You shouldn't have drawn that in the first place. All right. Well, I shouldn't have drawn that in the first place. But, you know, keep doing it till you get it right. Hey, if you folks are new, seeing me for the first time, and you have not followed before, please give me a follow. I need the follows. Question I always get, what kind of paper do you use? I use Duraline Vellum from Seth Cole, available at larger art stores. They ask what kind of pencil I use. I use Statler Mars Lumograph 4H when I'm not using the yellow office pencil to do my sketch or whatever. I like for the pencil to be hard. Okay. Got me yawning today. I'm going to draw muscles. And so I need to get the muscles right. So I'm looking at some muscle men and they just all look wrong. It's like there are people drawing these muscle men who have it all wrong. They're kind of crazy, these muscle men. Cartoon Man writes, you had to make 2 attempts and so did Trump. You know, part of the issue of doing these videos is that you see all my mistakes, and if you didn't see the mistakes, you would probably think I'm some kind of friggin' genius. All the romance is gone when you see the mistakes. So I have lots of mistakes. So as I come back at this and put in a little bit of crosshatch, thing to remember with the crosshatch is that you want it to describe the form and give it dimensionality. So you see that I put a little bit of curve into the lines, and I try to make sure that that curve is consistent with the way that his body is three-dimensional as I imagine it. Dawifa writes, we love the mistakes. Educate the world that art is work and doesn't just magically appear on paper. Good. Thumb looks like a toe, doesn't it? Fix that. I use the erasers up on every friggin' pencil. Doesn't even need a thumb. I'll wait and decide to put a thumb on there later. Cartoon Man writes, I like seeing the mistakes. Makes me feel a little better about the pile of crumpled attempts next to my desk. Boy, I draw politicians and then I have to say corrupted. Okay, let's get this nice looking bicep in there. Okay, the bicep has to ride up on the delt. So let's get the delt in up there. Yeah, you guys like seeing the mistakes, but I don't want to make mistakes. That arm is not looking too good. So, 18 people watching. There must be somebody who hasn't followed yet. Come on, give me a follow. I'm not making Trump quite as massive as these guys that I'm seeing in the pictures. Cartoon Man writes, I'm amazed at how dark you make the pencil line. It looks great. Yeah, I think these come out looking much like ink drawings. I do intend for each line to be 100% black. DeWeefer writes, have you ever drawn friends or family in the crowd or backgrounds of your cartoons? I have. In fact, I was thinking of, we asked people to contribute to support Cagle.com at cagle.com/heroes. And I was thinking of doing a premium that would be Daryl will draw you in the cartoon. Wait till I have a cartoon that's got a place where I can fit a random character in there. That would be kind of fun. The cartoon that you are in. I think I was getting hung up on making him a little too crazy based on those Google images that I was looking at. So, 16 people watching. Have you all followed me, folks? 16 people? I need the follows. What do they say about voting in Chicago? Vote for me 10 times. Follow me over and over. Luifa writes, in this muscle man context, what size are Cruz and Rubio? I guess they would be the 98-pound weaklings in the Charles Atlas cartoon, where Trump is kicking dirt in their sand in their face. Another classic cliche that I have drawn a number of times. Over here to my right, I have a piece of sandpaper that I use to chisel point my pencils when I grab them. In case you're wondering what happens over here to the right. A lot of this anatomical stuff makes me want to use the part of my brain that I use to also talk. So my apologies for these silent moments. I find that when I watch other people on Twitch Creative, I want them to talk. I can't stand the ones that play music. I just turn the sound off for those if I want to watch them. He's looking kind of fun. Kind of a goofy muscle man. That thumb goes down there. That looks right. sometimes when you guys ask, how do I make the lines so black? You can see that I draw pretty hard. One thing that I like about this paper is that it's does a good job of holding up to drawing really hard. You can see I don't draw a lot of muscle men. I'm not a superhero kind of cartoonist. I like the superhero cartoonists, but I think when you draw muscly guys all the time, that that makes it easier. It's like that muscly body becomes a character that you're used to doing all the time. DeWeefer writes, it'd be funny to see a sequel to this with an air nozzle gushing air as Trump deflates. Don't know that will happen, though. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of deflating. He seems to be continuing to do pretty well, which is really kind of what this cartoon is saying. I know you guys have asked, what am I drawing for the next cartoon? And how do I write down what I'm doing? I put them on little yellow post-it notes. And I don't decide what I'm doing till the last minute. But there's usually a bunch of little post-it notes hanging around that are in the running until I decide what I'm doing that day. The other one in the running today was this one with Republican Elephant Lady, and she says, I've changed my mind, now I want an abortion. And then we're seeing a little see-through dotted line image of fetus Trump in her belly, ready for her abortion. Oh, that was kind of funny. That will get some angry mail. So the pro-life people have no sense of humor. You're joking about murdering babies. But that was the runner-up for today, and I might draw it tomorrow. See how it goes. So, silent people, tell me some more. I wanted to know that I got the body into a shape that I was comfortable with before starting on his face. I think it's okay. DeWeefa writes, too bad there's no room for pinstripes on his shorts. You guys are getting to know me too well. Okay. So on Saturday, I'm giving the keynote speech at a convention of college newspapers in Burbank. Talking for an hour. If any of you are going to be in Burbank, or you live in LA, come see me. I'm forgetting the name of the convention. I'll put it up on my blog.
That'll be, when is that going to be? Saturday at,
I think it's like at 11. Ginger and Juice, nice to see you here. You write normal sized hands? Yeah. If I don't want normal sized hands, I could change it in Photoshop, but and I did think about drawing him all the time with the small hands, but frankly, I have not seen that as a bandwagon to jump on. think a lot of muscle men don't think much about their legs, and they end up having these huge upper bodies, and the legs are just like an afterthought. I was thinking of doing a how to draw feet video too. "22 people are watching. Come on, 22 people. You must have somebody there who hasn't followed." Well, I know I'm not drawing the muscle man the standard way you would expect a comic book cartoonist to do it. I just, you know, I don't come from that genre, and I'm not, brain doesn't work that way. Although I do like the brains that work that way. If I was drawing more in a comic book genre, he would have a much smaller head. He has 2 right feet. He does. What the bloody hell am I doing here? Thank you for pointing that out. You know, sometimes I'll draw 2 right hands or 2 right feet, 2 left hands, 2 left feet, and then I'll get all this mail from people. Two right feet. Oh, hell. You know, there's a benefit to doing this with people looking out for my errors. Thank you, folks. Crazy Neato. I don't think I've ever seen you here before. Crazy Neato? He looks better with a left foot, doesn't he? Thank you, folks. I appreciate it. Two left feet. Simonos writes, "Have you ever done a cartoon of yourself?" Yeah, I've got a cartoon up on my as my mug on my Facebook page. You can see. No, I changed that out for a photo. On the LinkedIn page, I've got the... No, I changed that out for a photo, too. I can't think of where a drawing of me is. Yes, thank you again, Crazy Neato and Cartoon Man, for pointing out my 2 left feet. All right, let's go to his head. head. I did a mistake the other day. I was drawing the Zika mosquito, and he had on his suitcase all the places he's been visiting, one of which was Guatemala. I spelled wrong. I had to correct it. So darn editors freak out. Dawifa writes, which current editorial cartoonist draws the best caricatures? Well, it's hard for me to say who's best at things, because then the people that I don't mention get their noses out of joint. But I shall venture to say Taylor Jones, because I think all the cartoonists, even the ones who would be annoyed that I didn't mention them, will think that Taylor Jones is just brilliant. So Taylor Jones is the answer to that, Dawifa. All right, the Donald. I like how his eyes come down this way. He's got this squintiness. And the upper eyelid is also quite expressive. And then when he gets his angry eyebrows, they come down like that. And they can be bushy. Okay, Trump nose. Cartoon Man writes, hey, do we know for sure Trump doesn't have 2 right feet? I guess the Republicans would worry that he's hiding a little bit of left that he's not telling us about. That's kind of looking Trumpy, huh? Got a good amount of chin. He's got some of these chin fold lines going on. Dawifa writes, he should try competing on Dancing with the Stars and we'll find out. 2 left feet.
Castaballo, my second follow today. Thank you so much, Castaballo. Very nice of you to follow. I think this pect needs to come in a little straighter. And that probably needs to come back just a bit. So hey, thank you much, Castaballo. I do need the follows. I'm not doing too good a job of building an audience for these. But it is lovely to see that I've got regular folks who come back. That's very nice of you. All right. Now I always kind of struggle with his hair because it doesn't seem to me to have a hair-like character, but rather it's like a puff, like a gentle little puff. So all of these little hairlines that I draw, since I am limited to drawing lines, because it's a pencil, they don't do his hair justice. That's kind of funny hair. It makes me laugh. It's not quite right, but it's wrong in a way that makes me laugh. And perhaps that's good. I'll have to think about it for a minute. Let me warm up the scanner. When I finish this pup, I'm going to need to take a scanner and potty break. So I'll be away for a few minutes. Hey, what do you think about the abortion cartoon idea? Anybody have any comments on that? I thought it was kind of funny. Get me some angry mail. Alright, his ear. I dealt with his ear. His ear has a kind of an interesting tilt that goes that way. Let's try that.
So he's looking like a tough guy, huh? All the last details are. I think I'm kind of getting done here. All right, let's put okay, politicalcartoons.com goes there. A little bit more ground. He's well grounded. Dawifa writes, no tattoos? If there were, what would they be? Well, I suppose he's got a tramp stamp back here in the back that we haven't seen. Yeah, they all wear these suits. You don't get to see their tattoos. I don't think they have tattoos. I know George Shultz, former Secretary of State for Ronald Reagan, has a nice Princeton tiger tattoo. But you don't hear about politicians having tattoos. I think they are largely blank canvases. Okay, am I pleased with this? I'm going to have to give him some background crud to kind of widen this. Dawifa writes, instead of a heart with mom in it, the heart would say me in it. You don't think Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio and Kasich are just equally narcissists in their own way? I think they are. It's just that Trump does a better job of being a narcissist. Okay, I think I can keep futzing with it, but I'm basically there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up the clock, see if I can get this thing scanned in 10 minutes. So it'll be just a 10-minute break, and then I will be back and I will color. So leave your window open for me. You can go watch somebody else for 5 minutes. I won't be insulted. Is that looking right? I think he's kind of done. This is the whole cartoon. Right. Okay. Now, folks, all 19 of you, I'm going to take 10-minute break to scan this, and then I will be right back, and we'll start coloring this in Photoshop, clean up the hickeys first, and then I will color it in Photoshop. So don't go away. Wait out that 10 minutes. Can't beat the Daryl Cagle live stream. Can't beat the price. What a deal. Cost nothing. Okay. Is he done? He's done. He's done. That's him. Alright. The Donald. Okay, folks. I'm going to be gone for 10 minutes scanning this. So don't go away, and I will be back.
Back in just a second. Have patience. Trust me. Okay, folks, I'm back. Here you can see I'm just getting my scan here. And piecing together the parts. So give me a minute. Moving a little slower than I should be. Nice to see 13 of you stuck around for this. That's nice. So I'm here waiting for the... Oops. Waiting for the spinning wheel to stop. There's Trump on the left. Here's Trump on the right. Looks pretty close. Now I will come in on this top layer. Take out some bits. Oops.
That's what I wanted. Okay, key's looking right. My glass of water is invisible. So let's flatten. Move them over here a little bit. Everything runs a little bit slower when I broadcast while I do Photoshop, so I have to wait for all these spinning wheels. Now we'll make it look like ink by popping up the contrast. Contrast up, brightness down. And you have to do it a few times because Photoshop does not, as you might expect, make the contrast 100% when you tell it to make the contrast 100%. Photoshop has these little idiosyncrasies. It likes to do kind of what it wants. Okay, there he is. And we'll make him, what size do we want to make him? I talked about stretching him out width-wise when I drew this. And I may yet do that. Does that look right? Okay, let's do that. Copy, new, return, paste. And we will make the image size 1000. And the width 8. Oops. Height 6.5. Let's make the height 6. Let's see what we think of that. He looked okay, a little bit wider. Let's make him, oh, that's why I was constrained with 8, height 6. Now let's see what he looks like. See how the width suits him. You nice folks have gone silent. Oh, I see I'm getting a spinning wheel on Twitch. Hey, can you tell me if you're still getting the video feed? Because it looks like it's having some trouble. So, yeah, I think this is looking okay. Mode bitmap. So let's clean up the crud. I will save as. Strong. TIFF. Okay. Okay. Good. Alright, let's get in here. Clean up the muck. Regular old house cleaning. This is bitmap, okay. Computer's running slow. People watching are not chatting. And Photoshop wants to spin its wheel.
Photoshop, move it along. That looks like an eraser crumb. I think the top of his head's getting a little dark. Okay, I think that's all right. So what's with you folks all going silent here? There's 15 of you. It's plenty. Should have something to say. Photoshop's running slow. Broadcasting just takes too much of the Mac brain. The Weefer writes, during the break it seemed Twitch froze and I waited a good long time until I realized I needed to refresh, and here you are. So, well, I saw some spinning wheel up there too. Maybe Twitch just freezes every so often to get you to watch another commercial. So we're going to try editing these and making them into a 20 to 30 minute podcast. And what I'm seeing at first is looking kind of cute. My son is doing the editing. He's got me talking for a minute, and then I go in super fast motion, which is kind of interesting to watch. Makes me look like a genius. In the respect that I'm drawing super fast. Do I want to get rid of this second line on his pillar? Not sure. It wasn't planned. So nobody saying anything? 16 of you just watching silently, working, don't want to mention anything, don't want to follow, don't want to make a comment. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of beard twinkle. Let me fix that. There. I should be detwinkled. See if I've got him all cleaned up here. I think he's getting pretty close. I think this is kind of funny. Strikes me as an amusing one. All right, that's the strong Trump. He is looking kind of nice in line art. This is going to be one of those ones that I hate to send out in grayscale because he's looking nice in line art. So let's save as. Let's bitmap, yeah, save as. Strong Trump, 1000 DPI. Wine. Okay. Now let's save as. It'll be 400 DPI CMYK. Okay. Now let's make him into CMYK. Grayscale. CMYK. And let's add some layers. Now, bring that up to the, oops, unlock. Bring him up to the top. Remember to always multiply the black line. Now let's go in here. We'll test the black. Boy, Photoshop just needs to think about that one. That was complicated. Invisible glass. All right, done still thinking. Jeez. Come on, Photoshop. Move it along. Jeez. Think and think and think. Well, oh, stop thinking. All right. So let's get a taste of that black.
Oh, looks terrible. Let's go with 0, 0, 0, 100. Select all. Select color range. That should choose the black lines. Now we will delete and fill 100%. Okay. Now that was not 100%. This is the kind of stuff that Photoshop hates to do. It resists. You have to do it over and over a few times before it finally accepts it reluctantly. It simply does not fill 100% when you tell it to. And it does not like to make 100K 0 CMY. It will fight. Look, now it's fighting. It's having an internal battle with itself. It just can't bear to do this. I don't know why it makes it so hard to do this, since this is the thing you need to do for all the comic books. Come on, Photoshop, hurry it along. Wait. Ugh. How long do I have to wait? So it looks like somebody just typed in hello, and that didn't show up in my chat window. All right, did that work? Now let's give it a test. So go over there, eyedropper tool, take a piece. What's it look like? 100%. Ah! Aha, I got it. Now let's select. Notice how many times I had to do it though. Inverse, and we'll delete that. He's not looking like 100%, is he? Let's select the inverse again. Why is that not looking like 100%? This should be 100%. And fill. Really hates to do this. Now I'll sing and dance. Right, we've so somebody I saw typed in hello, and that didn't show up in the window. I wonder why. Okay, I think that's probably looking all right. Okay. I'll go down here. Sometimes it doesn't come up 0, 0, 0, 0 for white either. Sometimes it wants to put in a little bit of crud, and it's just like 1, 1, 1, 1, and they can't see it. And sometimes that snuck past me into the newspapers, and I get this crud printing in the newspaper. It just looks lousy. Alright, now let's make the image 400. I want to constrain the proportions, make it 400. Electric Violin, your hello was blocked. What the hell is up with that, Electric Violin? I noticed that. I saw it on the screen, and then it didn't show up here. Don't let Photoshop push its crud on you. I have to admit, I'm using old Photoshop CS4, and it may be that all these things that annoy me about it have been fixed in a later edition that I haven't bought. So I can't really blame current Photoshop, but yes, Electric Violin, Photoshop often works in opposition to me. Okay, so what color do I want this to be? I know the editors like lots of bright colors. And gonna have a thing full of flesh tone and orange hair. So picking the background color kind of makes what the whole thing is gonna look like. If I make it blue, it'll pop. If I make it orange, that might be kind of funnier. So I could have the orange end up down here and then have the orange hair. Electric Violin writes, I'm taking a class for Photoshop CC now, so hopefully I'll be streaming one day as well. Well, good. I think I'd like to make it very orange, just great big orangey bunch of crap. I'm gonna do it. Let's go with 15 magenta, 80 yellow. Bump that up a bit. Opacity 30. Okay, let's try this and see if we like it. Vivi Corsi writes, I don't understand how you make the line work all black. What are the steps to do? Diapers Everywhere writes, ruined. Dewifa writes, have any editorial cartoonists seen your live drawing videos? If so, what have they said? I have gotten no comments from other editorial cartoonists, except, why are you doing that? And how are you going to make any money from it? And no, nothing more explicit than that. How do I make the line work all black? You just saw me select and over and over and over and over select 100% black. Photoshop doesn't like to do it. Anyway, yeah, I'm the proof of concept guy for the editorial cartoonist doing the streaming. And so far, I would say that with 249 people following, and usually less than 20 watching at a time, I think the cartoonists will all think that it is not a successful experiment. But I'm kind of enjoying it. Okay, 67%. Bump this up. Raider Ukas says, good to see not some anime here. I feel the same way about anime. I think anime is a blight on cartooning. And the whole idea that a genre like that... Oh, thank you so much, Schmulter. Very nice of you to follow. And Raider Ukas, you need to follow too, as well as Diapers Everywhere. Those are names I have not seen showing up in the comments before. Yeah, the whole idea of a genre like anime, all looking like it's got the same style, that's terrible. You know, we're supposed to be appreciative and tolerant of different styles, and to see all these kids drawing the same friggin' way, that annoys me. Opacity down. Let's try putting a little more yellow into this. Yellow it up just a skosh. And now let's orange it up just a little bit. It has to be extra light. That here. And let's get a little bit of Yeah, it needs a little bit of white on everything, doesn't it? Let's try that. Opacity, light. We'll put some yellow, some white on everything. Just give it some more texture to drop it back a little. Oh, thank you very much, Schmolter. Very nice for you to follow. Raider Ruckus, Diapers, you must follow as well. Okay. Let's give him a little bit of ground. Good grounding for the Donald. Oh, that's too dark. Ah, thank you, Raider Ruckus. Okay, I think that's all I need for background. That's as much as that's really kind of a very matching. Thank you, Raider Ruckus. That's very nice. I think it's kind of funny about this orangey haze is that it's really just like his hair. Here in the back here, not that. All right, let's make this base flesh. Base flesh for him should be 4, 20, 20. How's that look for base flesh? Cartoon Man writes, I had to leave the other day. Didn't get to see the bear cartoon finished. How'd it turn out? Ah! Never worry about leaving, Cartoon Man, because I post the videos and the finished cartoons on DarylCagle.com. So just go to DarylCagle.com, look at the most recent cartoon, and it's got 2 in there. It's got the Cornelius the Bear and what was the other one I do? Oh, Harakiri. The Republican elephant killing himself. I did. So that cartoon is up on DarylCagle.com. You can also go back and rewatch part of the stream that you missed. Yeah, Cornelius the Bear is our fictional mascot for our Los Angeles National Cartoonist Society chapter. Our chapter chairman, Matt Diffie, who is a New Yorker cartoonist, thought we were kind of dull. So he's instituted a dress code, which is you must wear a loud plaid jacket. And he has created a fictional story about Cornelius the Bear, who is our mascot. And they asked me to draw Cornelius the Bear. So that's what that was about. So I threw an extra one in on the last cartoon. The last cartoon being the Republican elephant that was committing harakiri with his big samurai sword. It's interesting how what this drawing needed was for me to stretch it a little bit horizontally. That really gave it more life, and I wasn't quite thinking of that. I was just thinking of make it a little bit wider than tall, and that'll get more editors to print it because it fits the hole. But it made it better. It wasn't just a matter of fitting the hole, it needed to be stretched. kind of funky. So I'm laying down base flesh, then I'm going to come back in with a little bit of darker and a little bit of lighter on both ends of this base, and we'll see if it needs any more than that. Might not. Alright. Since I'm doing 100%, I don't have to worry about brush strokes and which direction I'm going with things as I lay down a base. This base is the middle tone, as I'll come back with lighter and darker. Unlike how you paint, I always paint it in gouache. You paint from light to dark. Photoshop, I paint from middle to both light and dark. One of these days, I think I'm going to get the new Photoshop, because my daughter has all these lovely brushes that she uses in the new Photoshop, and I like them. I'd like to try that. And I've gotten so used to just using my sponge texture on everything. Double check. Yeah, he's looking okay. I like the sponge texture, and it tends to kind of disappear in the newspaper, or give it a little sense that I drew it on a piece of paper, which is nice. What do we want to do for his pants? Let's give him a dark red. 100, 100. That's alright, 100, 100. And we'll put that here. His red pants. His red chones, I should say. Gotta be careful when you do something like this, 100, 100 red under the black 100K multiply channel, is that if you miss a spot, it's gonna look like it's the wrong color, because the black doesn't look like black. It looks a lot deeper when it's got the red behind it. Okay, wow, let's look at that flesh tone. Bring it up a little lighter. That can go soft. That can go bigger. Bigger. Alright. Not quite that big. Opacity 18. Alright. Let's try that. So in all the light spots, I will pat out some lighter whites. Light source coming this way. Too many pats, needs to bump up. "25 people watching, that's pretty good as these things go. Usually don't go above 20. So you folks need to follow. There must be somebody new watching, needs to follow. I need the follows, folks. I'm trying to do some proof of concept, get some other editorial cartoonists doing this as well. And not doing well enough at my proof of concept. let's go with some almost white. I wasn't making enough difference there. Okay. Now let's go for a little dark. Put that over here. Here.
Oh, DeWeefer writes, getting closer to that 50,000 viewers to make you nervous. Yeah, Cartoon Man, have any other cartoonists shown an interest in streaming yet? None that I know of, although there are some good guys on Twitch that come close to being cartoonists, but not what I would expect. Tracky12 writes, Twitch developer, do you like something to improve in Twitch TV? Yes. I don't like that you delete the videos so quickly. I would like to be able to promote my Twitch page rather than having to save the videos to YouTube to make them not disappear, or I would like to be able to promote the Twitch page, and I feel like I can't really because the videos disappear. As an editorial cartoonist, I want to have an archive of my cartoons, and I would like to have these videos be part of my archive. So I think that's the biggest drawback I see to cartoonists promoting a Twitch feed, is it kind of defeats itself for the promotion when you can't really have an archive. Also, we get lots of technical problems on Twitch. People were just now complaining about the spinning wheel. Very often Twitch is slow, and I don't see that as a problem on my end. So, yeah, better promotion tools. Allow the artists to make a real home on Twitch. And the process of forwarding the videos from Twitch to YouTube is buggy, and very often I'm not able to get a full 1080p version in YouTube. It doesn't want to go beyond 720, even though I'm getting 1080p on Twitch. Which made me for quite a while want to use Restream.io to send the stuff over to YouTube at the same time, and I found that Restream.io was slowing things down such that I had to start saving the videos to my own hard disk and uploading them to YouTube separately. So the whole process of relationship between Twitch and YouTube needs some rethinking. I would also like to see some tools that would make it easier for me to develop this into a podcast. We want to start editing these down so that they're more like 20 minutes, half an hour, and put them on iTunes and put them on my sites in a way that is more reasonable for people to watch than posting a 6-hour video. And the tools for doing that are poor. Also, I'm doing this on a Mac, and the only real alternative for doing this is OBS, and OBS sucks for Mac. It's really a program that's made for Windows, and if you're gonna be recruiting cartoonists and top artists and try to get them to use Twitch, you gotta realize what a terrible learning curve there is for us, and what poor support we get from OBS with regard to doing this on a Mac. So, told you more than you thought you were going to hear, huh? Tracky 12? Tracky 12, have you followed me? I appreciate the follows. I do use Twitch alerts. I think Twitch alerts is kind of cute. I would like to see some different things happening in Twitch alerts. Twitch alerts, I think, is kind of... Oh, thank you very much, Tracky12. Okay, I'm not sure I want to do too much more of this darkening. So if you're an independent developer and not working for Twitch, I would say make an entire turnkey system for turning your Twitch videos into iTunes podcasts easily for people on a Mac that don't have all these PC tools. And something that would make the relationship with YouTube much easier. All right, he needs a little bit of pinking. The pinking is, let's drop C to 0 and M to 42. There's a good pink. And I'll pink him up a little bit just to give him a little bit of life. Little bit of life. Anyway, if you want to recruit more cartoonists to be streaming for Twitch, you need to make their lives easier and look at the things that they're trying to do in their careers and give them apps for making that easier. What they're going to want to do is incorporate the streaming into their blogs. We wrote a special script for Cagle.com. If you listen to all this, Tracky? So go take a look now at Cagle.com, and you will see this program that we wrote for ourselves, which makes the live Twitch feed show up in a pop-up window on Cagle.com. And that would be the kind of functionality I think that most cartoonists would want, because they would want to have people who come to their website see that they're streaming and just sit back and watch the stream. We always have a pretty good bunch of people on Cagle.com, and I thought that by putting the window up on Cagle.com I would get more users sitting and watching the stream, and I found that I didn't get that much. And there's a very different attitude among the people who want to watch a stream and the people who just come to the site because they want to look at some cartoons. So
we need some better tools for integrating our videos into our websites, particularly for the cartoonists who are working for newspapers, who need to convince the newspapers that it's valuable for them to stream, and it makes a great feature for the newspaper. Because you think of the typical cartoonist, all right, talk them into streaming, go through all the hassle of trying to learn how to do all of this stuff, buy all the wrong cameras because they work on the PCs and not on the Macs, and it's terrible to have to figure out how to find the right camera and equipment for a Mac. Beyond all that, they need the support that they're not going to be getting at their publication of record to integrate the videos into their paper or whatever they're doing. And nobody should have to try to figure things out from scratch like we've been having to do, because by and large the cartoonists are not techie and they don't have assistants. So, Tracky 12, did I scare you away with that diatribe? You asked for comments and perhaps you got too many. Yeah, I think I did scare Tracky away. Oh well, Tracky. I think there's just a huge difference between the way the gamers use Twitch and the way cartoonists would use Twitch. And so what's your comment on my diatribe, Tracky? Any of that stuff you can fix? Alright, Donald, I must do your hair. Donald. Try to DP that for me? DP? So I'll tell you, Tracky, one thing that I want to do right now is I have my son editing the videos down to 20 to 30 minutes from the 6 hours that they take here on... yeah, I know, I gotta do the hair. I postponed the things. So we need to reformat our videos for what we want them to be on podcast. And it's hard to figure that out. The videos are coming out much too big at 1080p. My techie guy says, well, you got to do 720p. Get them smaller to work for iTunes. And I say, well, I don't want 720p. I want high res. And then, you know, we've got to find a place to put these. And every place where you want to put them, they want to charge you for putting them up for a podcast. And in fact, I would think that Twitch should want to encourage everybody to turn these things into edited podcasts, because that's more promotion for Twitch. Well, I don't know how to format these things so that they're going to be efficient, and then I don't want to pay for all the bandwidth for gigabyte or over file to come up that way. Cartoon Man writes, I think it would be fun to see you drawing session with other cartoonists. Cagle Cartoon Jam 16 on Twitch. Yeah, Tracky, give me a scheme for doing that. And I was thinking that I would start doing Skype conversations with cartoonists once in a while, because that's something that would fit more logically into a podcast. But that's a hassle as well. Anyway, tools to turn these into podcasts, make it easy, host them from Twitch so that I don't have to hire another service to do that, and put them into the correct format for iTunes, so we don't have to compromise with 720p. Seeing as we're not going to make any money from doing this stuff, I don't want to have to pay a fortune to a friggin' hosting service to let people download 1 and 2 gigabyte files. That's something that Twitch should do. You can't make YouTube do it, and you gotta pay for the friggin' thing. If you use Google Drive like the audio podcasts do, they want they have this limit on how much you can do, and it precludes doing a high-res podcast. So fix all of that for me. That's all a pain in the butt. Okay, Tracky, you work for do you work for Twitch, Tracky, or are you an independent developer? Okay, let's go with 0, 10, 45, 0. It's kind of a good Trump base color for his hair, don't you think? Opacity 62. Okay, that's looking interesting. Kind of funky. Oh, electric violin. Good, good, good. Why are you saying no? No, 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 no. I'm not quite getting it. All right. Let's put in a little bit of texture. Another layer. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. His hair is kind of poofy texture. All right, let's get a little bit of yellow in there. I'll put that in another layer in case I don't like it. Yellow 22. Okay, let's give him a little bit of orange. That needs to be even lighter. Another layer. There he goes. So electric violin, what's the no about? I kind of like the hair. Now, what else do I need to do here? Is he done? He could use the teeniest bit of more darks here and there. I think I lost tracky. I think I went on too much of a diatribe for him or her. Have any of you guys gone over to Cagle.com and seen this stream? Just go to Cagle.com front page. You'll see this nice pop-up that we spent quite a bit of time making. So anybody that goes to Cagle.com should be able to see something there. All right. I think I may be done here. Now I'm just obsessive compulsive. What's backup? Electric violin? Did Twitch give up just then? That's what the no was about? All right. I think I'm finished. Twitch went down there, huh? Yeah, that's one reason I've started saving these to hard disk to upload them to YouTube. Because Twitch is not that reliable. Sometimes it drops frames and... oh, the stream cut out for a minute or two. Huh. Okay, this is Donald. Oops, I'm running out of space. These files are big. Okay, let's save. All right. So Donald looking strong. It's already end of day for the newspapers. They're not even going to get this until tomorrow. All right, let's flatten. Save as. Oh, excuse me. I should probably save this in another window rather than showing you what I'm doing. Let's do that. I'll give this second here. Ah. Come on, folks. BS, do your thing. Cartoon Man writes, how big is a typical cartoon file when you make it available for publication? We have a 3.5 megabyte file size limit. And that's because we found that if we go above that, some of the editors' email has a block for a file size file attachment that's too big. So to keep the editor's emails from blocking it, we limit it to 3.5 megs. Sometimes for some cartoons, it would be nice if we had more. And it's possible that we could initiate some new programming that would allow us to let the cartoonist upload something much bigger and then have it available in different sizes for the editors. 1104 Strong Trump CMYK. All right, that looks okay. Let's make that 9. That should come out at less than 3.5 megs. I'm gonna, let's see how it looks in black and white. Do we like it in black and white this way, or do we prefer
Cracky writes, thank you again, great art. Pardon my English. XH and Somex. You look new. OMG. You need to follow me, X and Somex. Alright, Strong Trump. Let's go back to the line art, see what we think. Alright, there he is, his line art. I don't think I want the grayscale. I think the line art is nicer. So I'm going to save the line art as final art. Save as. Line art, that'll be 1104B. And we're good. So, hey, Diazmata, nice to see you here. So, XX and Somex, X and Shomex, you must follow me. I need the follows. Nice to see you, Diazmata. And hey, I am all done. This cartoon is finished. This is the I didn't like it in gray. I'm gonna step back that one. Here he is in color. Yeah, the editors always will print grayscale over line art. In fact, they're gonna take this one and grayscale it just so that they can get the gray, bastards, instead of taking the line art. But still, I like the line art, so you want to try to twist their arms to do what's right anyway. Anyway, here's Donald. He's all done. Thank you all so much. Let me say, if you want to help support what we do with the cartoonists on Cagle.com, go to Cagle.com/heroes. We'd appreciate your support. If you want to see past cartoons or you missed anything on a previous live stream, please go to DarylCagle.com and look at the past cartoons. You can also go to my YouTube channel at Daryl Cagle, YouTube/Daryl Cagle, but I don't think you're really going to want to do that because it's better on DarylCagle.com. And like I said, not that good to look at my archive on Twitch because they delete those bastards. So go look at them on DarylCagle.com and be sure to follow here. And I will be back with the next one, which will probably be that abortion cartoon. XH and Somex right asks if I like Donald Trump. I don't like everybody. I think it's a cartoonist's obligation to not like everybody. So, with that in mind, I bid you all adieu, and thank you all so much for stopping in today, and I will see you on the next stream. Thank you again.